Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, Professor, and good evening, Dr. Mbogo, and everybody.
Good
How are
evening.
you? Good evening. Before we begin today's presentation, let me announce a piece of good news that in South Africa, one of the leading markets in Africa region, the NOPF has obtained the certificate from Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture. So very soon we are going to see that in one of the biggest agriculture countries in Africa, that the farmers will enjoy using the fertilizer to improve their yield and the quality of the crops. So I think we are going to have more distributors to join of online training from South Africa. So we hope that they can spread the message as much as they can to let more farmers and people to benefit from this amazing fertilizer. So thank you very much. And Professor Zhang, please you can share your screen with us. And Dr.
Hi.
Mbogo, you can start by sharing what you have experienced because for quite some time that we didn't have the very educative dialogue between two of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Lini. I've been trying to get into coffee because that's where now we are trying to see the difference between our normal fertilizer and the one meant for coffee. And I've also tried to initiate with the managers of those coffee factory, especially where the fertilizer has been used. And the other time I was requesting Mr. Budiman, you can also collaborate with the Ugandan team and see the quality improvement. Because so far we have seen on quantity improvement, that is the yield in terms of kilogram. And one of the unique farmer is what I visited the other time. I think I sent a video. I have visited 3 farmers in the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks. The 2 of them were using fertilizer, but there is one who is not using the fertilizer. And it is very obvious, even with the video that I sent, that where the fertilizer has not been used, the uniformity of ripening of berry is very, very ununiform. That means the berries are not ripening at the same time where we have not used the fertilizer. And also the rate of diseases, disease incidences where we have not used the fertilizer, especially that is where I visited last week, the disease incidences are quite high where the fertilizer is not used. And from my guess is that where the fertilizer is not used, the farmers are losing to the tune of about 25%, 20 to 25% of their yield because of disease incidences and the pests. But where the fertilizer has been used, the disease incidences are low. And at the same time, I'll be sharing those videos. I've shared already with Mr. Budiman some of them. The other one I'll be sharing later on about the yield, the one I recorded recently. The yield going down because of the pests and diseases. And the farmer who has done the normal farming without our Nutriplant organic fertilizer, the maximum yield has been about 20 kilogram per year for coffee. But those who have used the fertilizer, you see the cost number one has gone down because the disease incidences have gone down. But at the same time, they have a yield of about 28 kilogram per year. And the fertilizer application, the other like NPK is low, that is half, but the yield is still high. And mainly the yield is on number one, there is retro waste in terms of berries that are not ripening in time. And at the same time, we reduce the loss because the harvesting is almost done at the same time. And one of the things that one of the farmer was happy about is the reduced cost in terms of harvesting, because when you bring the labor force, it's normally done almost this, within a week or so, because all the berries are, more the berries are ripened and they're big enough that the laborer can be able to hold it. So there is a great difference from the farmers who have not used it. And the reason why I've gone to the coffee mainly and also tea is because of our new fertilizer and see how they're able to incorporate and the outcome of it. And I've realized that even the old fertilizer is equally good. We don't have enough data in terms of the new fertilizer. And one of the issues that we are having is that the farmers are satisfied with the older one. And now they need a concrete reason why maybe they may adopt a new one. And that one will take time because we need to involve the farmers, see the results, see the outcome, and may be able to move it that way. But generally, the 2 days ago, I was in my own farm, which of course I shared the photo sometimes back. And interestingly, the maize has performed very well. And now that I have somebody who is regularly using the fertilizer, most of the maize have produced twins cob in one plant, and others three. And one of the confession and interesting thing is that some neighbors, they don't know. I'm trying to share with them what I'm using, and some of them, since I'm not always there, they are thinking that they are using the other fertilizer. So they keep on adding their older one, but I requested my employee to share with them the idea. So what I can say here now that we have a breakthrough, even in South Africa, we are likely to produce enough food now, enough food, not only for our continent or even our country, but even to share with our neighbors or even sell outside. Because I have one unique farmer. He didn't tell me how many trees that he has, the bushes, coffee bushes. But one interesting thing, because in so far from the time he started using the fertilizer, he has bought 12 bottles, but his yield has increased from same number of bushes were producing 4,500 kilogram of coffee berry, fresh one, and now it has gone to 7,200. So that is a great increase. The same the same number of trees, reduced cost in terms of pest control and also other diseases because they are less incidents, and there is a yield of an increase from 4,500 to 7,200. That is nearly 3,000 increase, because it is supposed to be like 48, or there is 2,800 increase. That is one I've seen to be quite profound. And from my end, I want to make that one as a reference point for the rest of the farmers within that area, because they are able to communicate directly. I want to maybe, because it is in Kirinyaga, I want maybe to be a reference point so that in case I go out and meet the farmers, I will be able to refer them to that particular farmer. We can also establish another reference point because the area is large. And by so doing, we are going to see the improvement of the yield, as well as the use of fertilizer. But the normal case of what you have been climbing and asking about biological pest control, is still within them. And especially the side of coffee, which normally have aphids, the white one, which of course, when there are aphids, there is also ants coming, because the ants will not feed on coffee, but it will feed on aphids. So now it causes some form of brackish coloring within the plant. But as far as that one is concerned, still there is a little bit of control, but it's still the same thing. If you can have biological control, of course, before it comes, we have to use what we have. But let me say that I'm through with the beans. Beans, I have nothing to worry about, because most of my people and even the people allowed have learned well about how to use it on beans, on corn, on other things like rice, sweet potatoes, and also English potatoes, because those are mainly the staple food. Staple food. Now going to what you call the commercial foods. That is where they use it for purpose of commercial selling. That is coffee, tea. That's where now I think we need to sensitize and also work with the farmer. But so far, so good. About timing of coffee application, we got the flyers, which of course now they have been of great help to the farmers. Issuing them, they are getting them. I mean, they are finding them useful. So that's what I have for now. No big challenge that we have had, other than the very small challenges of new people coming, and they need to learn from the square one, asking the same question. And one area that I found a little bit interesting is on sweet potatoes and watermelon. Um, when they become so big, when you put it about four times, the watermelon becomes so big, and also sweet potato sometimes become so big, such that it will become difficult for them to be sold in the local market, that consumption. So if you can have somewhere, we can maybe try to see either we reduce the amount of fertilizer in 20 liters, or reduce the intervals, or we spray less time in a growing season. Because when they become very big watermelon, they are only sold with those people who are having hotels or other institutions, because local or domestic use, the very, very big one with with a small family size may not be working very well. Thank you very much. Back to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Mbogo, for giving us so many valuable first-hand information. So I think, we're going to hand over the platform to Professor Zhang.
This is a very, very good information from Dr. Mbogo. And we got a time, we got the fertilizer too good, and the watermelon is too big. We cannot sell. That's the thing. Actually, say watermelon is a sweet potato too big. Sweet potato too big is okay, I think, but the watermelon is too big. We can depends on the raining or water situation. If the water is enough, we can reduce cut the loss, reduce, if we spray 3-4 times, we cut it one time, and cut the last time. If it's dry, and we can reduce the concentration, we still spray the water with a little bit less NOPF. So this way, the plants still get water, because you need to water them anyway. So also we should stop a little bit earlier. If we stop it too late, and this way, got an earlier time, we could have put If really too big, we maybe only spray all the time. And the last one just missed it, just skip it. So that is this is very good. And the corn, I see you said you have something tins for the corn air. That's
Yes, even triplets, not only twins, even triplets, and all of them doing very well. The
that's
same
strange.
species.
So we had some amino acids. We normally only consider this is a nitrogen-based fertilizer. So one of the function we didn't know too much. We just have the conception is these amino acids, they have the plant hormone function. Normally people don't know. We don't know what exactly the mode of action, what is the physiology, but definitely they stimulate the plants to a lot of development. So it's a molecular biology side, we don't know. But definitely they have the function of the plant as acting as a plant hormone. So that's why we little bit fertilizer and OPF, we have so much results compared to the conventional fertilizer, you put a lot. So, so this is this part of the function we normally overlook it. We didn't know what it was. And another thing is we overlook it is plant diseases control. And we normally say it's a fertilizer, we looks like acting as like a Chinese medicine to help the plants to increase the immune system to fight back any disease impact. But for your results for the coffee, it seems like more than that. You actually have some control on the diseases. So that part, we may need to do some experiment. Is there any way, doctor, you have something, any way we can do some experiment? I don't know.
On coffee, I'm doing it even in my farm. And I've been having somebody who is inspecting the pest mainly on daily basis, and keep on recording how many bushes they have found with ants, for example, and how many berries could it be showing a kind of coffee berry disease, as well as leaf rust. Before we were using the fertilizer, and even when you compare with our neighbor, because there is a neighbor who is not using at all, you'll see that the coffee, the health, even the way the plant look, the health-wise, how green, how healthy it look like, and also checking how many bushes could it be affected. With the use of the fertilizer, with use of Nutriplant, we see there is a decreased incidences. What I think now is get more sample so that at least we can compare not only in one localized area, but move to other area and then get the results. Although some farmers also want to have free samples, so we only try to work with those that are cooperating. That means those who are willing to buy and then at the same time use their field as a field of experiment. So it's a slow process. With mine, it's working. I used to spray coffee against the bright 3 times. Now we are spraying only once, and it is not doing badly. And also the yield has increased. My coffee bushes are about 2 years, but even at 2 years, they are able to be able to harvest 11 kilogram per year, and that's very young bushes.
But this is 11 kilograms per bush.
Per bush, and it is a 2 year spread.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We normally have 2 seasons growing. Production season. Season. That means we normally harvest twice in a year. So combining the two, one bush is producing about 11 kgs. And when it's young like that, that's a good yield.
And you said that on the coffee berry diseases. Do you know what kind of disease is it? Rotting or bacteria or what?
Mainly it was bacteria. Mainly it was bacteria.
Yeah, I can find. And actually, last week, Mr. Budiman, we are communicating some coffee black tick borer. It's kind of a beetle, very, very tiny beetle. And these have some, they go into the stem of the coffee branches, and the branches die off. So that one, he showed me some pictures. Pictures are quite clear, but I guess it was one of the black tick borer. It's an ambrosia beetle. It's like a 1 or 2 millimeter size, very tiny. And actually, I used to work on this for over 10 years for that group of the insects. So it's hard to control. When you do the spray, you can spray. This is also good part of the NOPF is we can compensate the plants when they have the insects or disease attack. When the attack came in, if the beetles, if this is the stem, if you see something dying off at above, we can cut a little bit like lower at the branch. So this way we don't make sure you cut off all the insects, or you can split it open the branch to see if anything inside, and you can cut and remove them. This is kind of whitish, like a milk color of the larva grubs, right in the middle. So if we cut them, take them out, don't leave them in the field. We need to burn them, totally burn them all. And the same as the diseases too. We cut them off, take out of the field, put some in a container, and burn them. So this is maybe if we can keep observe what's the plant diseases control, maybe we have something function of the disease control of this NOPF over this. I don't know how do we. Right now we only can observe in the field. Says okay, after spray, the plants have less incidence of the diseases. But if anyway we can, let me know, or let me figure out, or we can work together to find out what species of the bacteria. We can, if we have some lab, we can inoculate, put on plates. Then we can, if we have any bacteria growing, we actually can spray a NOPF over it in the media to see if we can control the bacteria growth. If this way is totally new, we need somebody student to do a research project to find out what it is, what the problem is. So if this works, it definitely is, we find another avenue to use that. So this is a great. You have good eyes. That's why you have a doctor. So you see the problem. How do you analyze the results? So in the future we need to add these functions for the plant hormone. Maybe plant hormone functions growing better, and also have. When in the past we say we not direct control of the disease or not direct control of the insects, but it seems like we have something at least direct, very close to the control of the disease. So we don't know if there's any antibody reaction with the bacteria with this, because we don't know this. This is a natural fertilizer. It's all come from a natural procedure. So we have something in it. We can figure it out later. That's excellent. And for the, let me see, for the aphids on the plants, you're right. The ants is after the aphids, the honeydew. The aphids in the tail, they circulate. The aphids, they keep eating the juice of the plants all the time. Same time they eating, the same time they poop out. So the aphids coming after this honey from the aphids. And the control aphids is it's easy, but it's hard too. They got a new generation in 35 days. So they reproduce so fast. They don't lay eggs in the hot, warm timing. In the Africa, maybe they may never lay any eggs. They may don't have males. They don't have females. The female aphid, they have the progeny, their daughter inside the abdomen. The daughter already have their daughter in abdomen. So the grandmother, they have 3 generations in the same body. So they keep laying. They give birth of the little aphids, not laying eggs. Insects normally laying eggs, but the aphid, they in the summertime or in the warm temperature, they only laying the little baby aphids. So the control, the insecticides is easy. Almost any insecticides can kill aphids. The problem is the aphids, when the aphids suck the little leaf of the coffee leaf, they stay in the back of the leaf. And when you suck, and the leaf curls, so become like a ribbon. So they hide in there, you spray, cannot get them. And they always stay in the very, very tender, the youngest leaf. They don't go to the older leaf. So this is hard to get them. That's the problem. Biological control, you have a lot, it's expensive. Normally you can, in the Africa region, in the naturally, if the region, when the population builds up enough, they have wasps naturally. You can see some aphids become like beads-like, little bit of dark brown circle. The aphids normally is oval shape, the spindle shape. The 2 ends pointed, but in the middle large. When a parasite wasps attack the aphids, these aphids become like a bloom, like a little bit of bead, like a beads. So when you see that, it was a wasp inside. The wasp is also so tiny. So when you have this wasp, normally you can control, but when the wasp control the natural enemies, the wasps, they don't want to kill all the aphids. They want to save some aphids for the next generation use. All the virus, bacteria, anything, their objective is not to kill the host. If you kill the host, they will not have the next generation either. So biological control is always delayed and less effective. So you always have something in it. So one way is if we spray enough NOPF, spreading a lot of new leaves come out, kind of like overgrowth the aphid infection. If you have a limited number of the coffee bushes, if you can handle, I would just pick out use a hand If you're in a garden, if you don't have too many, use a hand to pick out the young leaves, all smush. If this is a leaf, because all the aphids is underneath, you can use your hand to mush them off. And because you spray, you have enough nutrients, the new plants, the new leaves come out, so they compensate. So this is a way of the aphids control. And also you can spray anything you find on the market. And if we would, I'm going to talk to Dr. Li about biological organic pesticides. I'm going to see her next Saturday. So we will talk about it more about the insecticides and the fungicides or whatever biological control or organic pesticides for the diseases and insects. The only problem is we can have the organic pesticides. Pesticides are really complicated, more complicated than the fertilizer. Fertilizer, you can almost every plant, you need a fertilizer. And the timing is normally easy. But pesticides, you have to have the knowledge of the insects. You have to have the knowledge of the diseases. And the timing, concentration, all the regulations. So if we take time to get that part, but we didn't forget. We think about it to see if we can. I see Jaime said we need organic pesticides. Yeah, we definitely we are discuss this, but we will take time about it because a lot of regulation. You see, our fertilizer get the South Africa approved take a long time. We just approved, and when we have approved, we have a permit. For the pesticides, will be even harder. Also, pesticide application need more supervised, need more technician, more knowledge base. So we will need more training on pesticides. So if we have that, we definitely can do it. And I have been doing pesticides training for many years. And actually I was in charge of the New Jersey pesticides regulations for a while. So we know all the methods. We have all these techniques. We just need to know how to get this move on for green world. And other question we can discuss. Let me see if any in the chatting room.
Yes, we do have one of the South African distributors ask about the peach trees.
Yeah.
So the peach got rotten before.
Before got rotten, the peach got rotten is most likely have a couple of issues. One is moisture, but mostly like diseases. So we don't know we need to see what the diseases they are, maybe bacteria. So we need this come back to the topic, about the pesticides. The diseases, plant diseases, mostly fungal diseases. Some bacteria, not too many virus for the plant diseases, mostly fungicides. That's why we call sprays for diseases. We also spray fungicide. So it's when we have to know it's bacteria or fungi infection. If it's bacteria, you have to spray antibiotics. If the fungi, you spray fungicide. If the virus, you cannot spray. You're dead. But if the virus, the only can control the media. What is the media? Media is who transport the virus. Transport the virus is the insects, the aphids, the leafhoppers. So aphids and the leafhoppers, they are insects. They are insect pests. But the most important, the damage done by the aphids and the insect for the leafhoppers is not from their feeding. Like Dr. Mbugu said, the aphids is not a problem with the problem is the ants. The ants after the aphids. And the byproduct, they got a lot of black spots. And the ants got all the messed up. So the aphids and the leafhoppers, they transmit a virus. Sometimes they transmit the diseases. The virus infection is sometimes so easy. If your hand touch one plant, you move to the next plant, you pass the virus. So that's why when you go to the field, you don't touch too much plants on your body, your clothing. You touch it, you move another one, you move the virus around. So virus control is to control the insects, or you get a new variety of the crop, the resistant to the virus. And so for the fungicides is easy. You can get it anywhere. You can spray. But the fungicide disease problem is when you spray fungicides, when you see the leaf spots, it's already kind of late. So you need to do the preventive. One is to control the moisture. You don't get the fungi, they need high moisture. When you foliage, leaf canopy too good, they may get some fungi come up. So you need to get airflow in the canopy. The air can move on. They dry a little bit. The fungi they grow slower. And also, a lot of fungi, because the fungi is not like a bacteria, they have spores, but most time they use a hyphae inside the plant tissue. They move, so they stay there for a long time. And the old leaf, the bottom leaves of the plants have a lot of fungi. You can see a lot of powdery mildew on the leaf, on the backs of leaf. So when you see that, you need to cut these leaves, take them out. When you cut this leaf, when you cut the next leaf, you should supposed to wipe, clean your knife. Otherwise, you pass your pathogens to the new leaf. So you need to clean all the time. And let's see. Okay, let's talk about the different things. The pesticides, definitely, we are thinking about it. Does NOPF have NPK? That's a good question. We have about 10% of the amino acids in the NOPF. About on the average, have maybe have one more than we have a nitrogen, a lot of nitrogen. The amino acids basically is nitrogen. Every amino acids have a nitrogen elements inside. That's why our NOPF is called nitrogen kind of group fertilizer, but not only fertilizer, which as we discussed, is more than fertilizer. It's have biological control of the diseases we don't know, but it's a potential there. We see it. Another is plant growth hormone. They have something in it. The amino acid as a stimulant to improve, to promote the plant growth. So it's a plant growth regulator. And the P and K have some, not much. So that's why we need to understand. We always say we understand your soil, understand your plants, understand your fertilizer. We have kind of a liquid, water-soluble plant nutrients or nitrogen bias of the amino acid fertilizer, but the plants still need a P and K, phosphorus and potassium. This P and K, a lot of situation is very low. It's very hard to be water soluble. You have to be put, if you are not organic labeled farming, you are not selling good price, high price of the organic vegetables. You are only shooting high quality, high new quantity, high yield of the crop. You still can use conventional fertilizer, P and K, put in as a base before you planting, put in the soil. P and K take several months to be available for plant to use. So that's why you can spray, you can buy some water soluble P and K, very expensive. We have in US, we have called Miracle Glue. This is one of the fertilizer. They sell by a kilo or half a kilo. And you can use one little scoop. It's green. Each time they only little bit because it's a water soluble. It's expensive. It's not. They are not selling for active farming. Active farming, you cannot afford it. Too expensive. So P and K, we need to use them, put them in the soil as the base, and let the microorganism work in the soil, make them become water soluble. So we have most of the nitrogen in the NOPF, have a little bit P and K, but not too much. And what's the next question? Can it be applied to mango trees and how? Mango trees is all kinds of fruit. This is, as we discussed, the fertilizer compared to the pesticides, totally two different category. Fertilizer, every plant need a fertilizer. What a fertilizer mean? Fertilizer is plant food, nutrients. Like we eat food every meal, every day, plants need food. Plants, the most large quantity of food is NPK, mostly N, most nitrogen. P and K, yes, not as much as the nitrogen. So the mango is a plant. Plant need nitrogen, need nutrients. So they need fertilizer. So we can use NOPF on the mango. And if you can see how do you apply the mango, mostly one of the principle, actually I never planted them. I don't have a mango in my garden, and I never planted mango. But for the scientific analysis, we can know mango is a multi-year crop. It's a big tree. It's hard to, if it's not too high, you can spray. If too low, if too high, you cannot spray. So the mango juice, you should use combined conventional NPK and NOPF together. When the beginning of the rainy season, you don't put NPK, you don't put any fertilizer when the dry season into soil. When you put in the dry season into soil, anytime the roots touch this dry fertilizer, they may burn out. The fertilizer itself It's 100% concentration. Plants need less than 5% of the concentration. So we need to dilute it. We have water a lot. We have moisture, have water a lot of water. Then you can use it for put a fertilizer. You put a conventional NPK in the drop line of the mango trees, beginning of the rainy season. You put it several inches deep, and then you put in, and then you cover the soil. You suppose, if we're not a rainy season, if not too much raining, you suppose water the drop line, and you open it up, put the conventional fertilizer in, cover it, water them again, another week, water them another week. Make sure the place you have fertilizer keep moisture, and the roots terminals are under the drop line, not on the trunk, the center of the trunk. So then after the couple of weeks later, then when the new leaves come out, because I never planted the mangoes, I don't know, especially in the tropical, in the Africa, you are green year round. You always, the plants, the leaves, trees always have leaves. We don't have any leaves here in New York in the wintertime. So we have the leaves started in late April. If my situation, if we didn't have any leaves, so we don't spray anything. When the leaves come out, we start to spray fertilizer, but we still put the conventional beginning of the season in the soil as a base. Once a year, put in the soil. Then you put it monthly, every week or every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. Spray the NOPF if you can reach the plant's leaves. You don't need to spray too much. You spray until the peak of the blooming season. With the flowering, blooming, it's time to stop. Almost every crop, you don't need to spray, don't need to apply fertilizer after the peak of the blooming. They are end of their life cycle. They need to move all nutrients from all leaves, all stem to the target place, to the fruits. So we don't need to grow more new leaves. And also, they have a delay between your application of fertilizer to your harvest. You don't need to apply the fertilizer very close to the end. You waste it. Plants cannot use your fertilizer to the seeds, especially when the end of the lifetime, all the leaves are starting old. The old nutrients are kind of gone. The leaves starting drying out, and they don't have function for the take fertilizer while you spray. So almost all fertilizer should stop at the peak of the blooming season. That's it. After that, let the plant take them ourselves. Only take care of the water. If it's too dry, nothing happens. So keep them watering. Can the fertilizer be accompanied by a measuring cup, please? we use a cap, right? Wang Qian.
Yeah, we need to check the volume of the fertilizers in different caps, because we have two different type of fertilizers, the small one for 100 ml and the big ml. For the big one, for the 1 liters, we used to have, I need to check it out to be able to answer these questions.
They said it was 20 ml.
Should be
for
20.
bigger cap.
Yeah, should be 20 ml.
That's small cap. Because I'm a scientist. I never use a cap. I always use a cylinder. I see. Okay. So that's one, and also use a pipette. So I actually, allocate exactly how many ml I need. And so what I do is, if this is a pesticide, always fertilizer. When each beginning of the season, for the pesticides, normally we do 2.5 ml per gallon of the water. Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna use the English system because I forgot what's the metric system. How do they convert? In US, it's only country stupid. We only use English system. So we use 2.5 ml per gallon of the water. So I actually put a little bit. I have all kind of small vials this size, and about 5 to 10 ml size. So each vial I put 2.5 ml chemicals in it. Then each time I just take one chemical. If I need 1 gallon, I take one vial. Take another. If I 2 gallon, take 2 vials. So always prepare in ahead, and in the field I don't need a measure. Or I have plastic cylinder with me, so I just measure exactly how much. But we should know what's the cap volume. If the little one, how many ml? Big ones. Somebody told me the big one is 20 ml. I'm not sure. I cannot say. And also have one cheat sheet that my wife always do. Yes, she has a cup. It's a cup. It is my honey. I'm a beekeeper. She will measure 100 ml some here, and there's water here, and I put a mark here. Okay. Next time she always use the same mark. So it's if we don't have a cylinder, you just use a clear bottle, water bottle, mark 100 ml, 50 ml, 150 ml. You put a marker, use a Sharpie, with a black marker, and you make a line. Then next time you don't need a cylinder. That's what she always use, and I always use a cylinder. Please explain about the ratio 4:3:3. How does it do improve the farmers' crops? 4:3:3. What's that? NPK? 是不是这个意思啊？
I wonder where does this 4:3:3 get from? Where of distributor get this ratio? Because we always suggest 1 to 1,000 or even 1 to 2,000. So and 4
This is like
3.
three. These are 3 elements. 4, 3,
Yes.
3. It's like an NPK ratio. Some bags with NPK 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 20, 10, 10. I'm not 4:3:3. I don't know what they improve the farmers' crops. I'm not sure. Can you give a little more detail? In the event maize is invaded by stalk virus, can IMF help? As we discussed, when the plants got the virus, you're dead. For the U.S. import inspection at the border, the Homeland Security Department, when they see any plant diseases, only one option: destroy. Yeah, not. If you see insects or a snail in the importing cargo, we will have a method. We can treat fumigation, give them pesticides to kill all the live insects. or live snails. When we get the diseases, doesn't matter bacteria, fungi, or virus, bacteria, fungi, virus, these are all three groups, or nematodes. When we get that at the border, all your imported cargo, either you take them back. If we ship it from Kenya to US, you take them back, or you burn, destroy. So the disease is a headache. When we have disease issue, the best way is prevention. Don't let them happen. You happen, you are in big trouble, especially the virus. Bacteria, you can spray antibiotics. We know we have the human, most diseases from human is bacteria. Fungi, we don't have fungi too much, only have fingernail, sometimes skin, sometimes the toenail, the fungi. Not too much fungi on human, but the plants, mostly fungi. The fungicide is cheaper ones. Only some minerals can kill them, the copper, the sulfur or something. We can kill the fungi, but you have to spray. And normally, most of them is sprayed too late, is useless. For the virus, cannot control. You have to, well, some businessmen can tell you, you can control, you buy my product, you waste your money. I'm a scientist, I tell you, did that. And, okay, what's the, well, let us know the things that we think we know. We think we don't know. A lot of time, so excuse me, sometimes I repeat it too much. Well, it's okay, because you change people. If I say something too much, and you can say, okay, we know that. A calibrated cap, MLVD, correct. Which soil good for our organic fertilizer? Which soil good? Organic fertilizer is good to any soil. Why we need organic fertilizer? Because you want to help to preserve your soil. If we keep using conventional fertilizer, your soil becomes more acidic. Because what's the conventional fertilizer? Conventional fertilizer is salt, S-A-L-T. Like we eat dish every day, it's kind of a salt. When you add this salt into your soil, your soil become damaged. That's why we want, last 5,000 years, we never used the chemical fertilizer in the soil. We always use organic fertilizer. But the last couple hundred years, we use conventional fertilizer, chemical fertilizer. We damaged the soil. So we need to go back. But that's why I say we still need a conventional fertilizer combined with your organic fertilizer. We cannot go back to organic fertilizer in one day. We are already in the avenue of the chemical fertilizer. We have to go together, move along for a while. Maybe not 30 years, maybe even longer. So we need a conventional fertilizer, organic fertilizer, we could work together. And to the point that we can reduce conventional fertilizer every day, we add organic fertilizer every day. In the end, maybe we change. Like the pesticides. In the 50s, in the 60s, organic chlorophyll and organic phosphate, these pesticides are so toxic. One drop can kill you. But we used it for a while, have built up a lot of problem, toxic poisons, and plant insect resistance. Right now, actually, the pesticides change. They change it for these toxic pesticides to a lot of much safer pesticides. So hope we are doing the same thing as for the fertilizer. We are change our fertilizer may eventually to replace, to eliminate the chemical stuff, keep our soil. So our apply organic fertilizer is one of the goal to improve our soil. Okay. Well, they're over, and I'm gonna look at. That's great. People do a lot of chatting, so we can next time we keep talking. Okay, don't close. Let me see other questions that I'm gonna write down. Okay, move on. Well, if I lost you, next time you keep coming to put in the chatting room, I will try to answer. I'm not guarantee I know everything, but I try my best to answer. Okay. 就这样吧。
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. And thank you. Today we have actually 60 over 64 participants with this with this online training. So thank you so much. We hope that after 2 weeks we're going to meet again online and we have more audience. Okay, this is we're going to put down this information, the questions, and answer next time. Okay, do we have any materials? Safety data sheet for Greenworks organic fertilizer. Actually, we have the certificate and license from authorities of governments of different African countries. And we also have some of the the testing reports from them, so we can we can which country you're from, so we can share this. If you can let us know which country you're from, so we can send this information to your general manager. Okay, so for all this, the resting questions will be trying to answer after 2 weeks at the next presentation. So thank you once again for tuning in, and thank you very much, Professor. Thank you once again, Dr. Mbogo, for your great contributions. Thank you, everybody. So you can unmute yourself. Okay, from Botswana. So you can unmute yourself to see. Thank you, and good night to Professor. Good day, actually.
Good day, Professor. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Madam Li.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information. That's a great, a lot of good information.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.